go? What are we going to? We're going to a ball? What's going on?
Going to a ball? No,
What's up with this dress?
In my rental box. I'm just making sure my bra's not hanging out.
It feels like we're going to a fundraiser.
Does it? It's just a sweater dress.
Just this old thing.
It's just a little sweater dress and some cute earrings.
Well, you look very fancy, and I'm wearing joggers. Is that what they call them? Joggers.
You look very fancy too, Mr. Steve Trevino.
Well, I hate winter. I hate it.
Because then you actually have to wear
clothes
more than a tank top.
Yes, I shouldn't say I hate winter. I mean, my favorite is summer.
Yeah.
My favorite season is dead of summer.
Letting the armpit hair all hang out. That's how you like it.
Hot. I like it. People complain about, no, don't get me wrong. Phoenix hot, no thank you.
Oh.
Phoenix hot, Vegas hot, you can't even go outside.
But my hair does good in Phoenix.
Is that what you're thinking about?
So much, yes. I always have really good hair in Vegas. It's not frizzy and froey. Even when I want to make it curly,
but you don't like summer
nice.
like I like summer, right?
I don't.
What do you like?
It reaches a point when it's like too freaking hot to even wear clothes. Like you can walk around with your armpit hair hanging out and like have a nip slip, no big deal. But God forbid, like a woman do that. You can't.
I don't know. Nowadays, these women just pull their titties out and feed babies everywhere.
Oh my gosh, that's completely different. That's miserable too, having to do that in the heat of the day. A child attached to your boob.
You have like four friends that are breastfeeding, and it's the most like they're just whipping them out. And I'm like, okay, well, there's a tit over there. Like, no
one invited you.
No, but I love summer, and I don't know. And I mean this by no disrespect to anybody because I know they love their town. I don't know how people do it in the Chicagos and the Bostons and the Detroits. And I can't.
Yeah.
I'm there for, 2-3 days and I'm like, what?
Your ears feel like they're going to fall off.
Well, what really sucks too is a lot of times, like I was in Kansas this week. It's super cold this weekend. And then it's, okay, I'm going outside. I bundle up. And then I get in the car, and then I'm hot.
Oh, yeah,
because you take all your shit off
in the car.
And then you get out, and you go into the thing. Now, where do I put my coat? Now I got to put my coat. I mean, it's just the whole thing. And Rick, I don't know how people do it, dude. You being a Detroit guy, and I understand why older people, when they retire, they go, we're going to fucking Florida.
Yeah.
Because all the snow days I had in my lifetime, I need to get them all back to sunny days. So then every day is a sunny day in Florida. They go to Florida and then they get all their sunny days
But
back.
it rains all the time in Florida.
Well, it rains.
Tropical.
Yeah, it does rain in southern Florida daily, but then it's sunny again.
Yeah.
Like a storm will roll in, it'll rain. And
it's just humid all the time. My hair does not do good in Florida. I have really bad hair in Florida.
But it's, I don't know how we started talking about seasons, but.
Maybe, was it freezing in Kansas where you just were? Is that what it is? It's cold here.
Well, the past 2 weeks for me have been, Cleveland, freezing cold, Detroit, freezing cold. And then I have to go back. And then here is...
We weren't really that... I mean, we were warmer than you were at home, but it's still cold this weekend.
But what I love about Texas is it does get cold, but then it's hot again.
Yeah.
And then it'll be cold in the morning, and then it's hot again. Yeah. So...
How do we get to you bitching about the weather again? Why are we here?
I don't know how we ended up there. I have no idea. How we ended up there. But anyway, I am really happy because... and I got to check, but
yeah,
Aztec Chevrolet, as you know, I ordered my very first brand new vehicle, and I really hadn't had a chance to drive it because I bought it, and then I wanted to make it a little
manlier. Is that what it is?
Well, more
cooler,
cool,
hipper.
Cool, a little a little more hip, right? So luckily. I'm really good friends with John Frost and down in Corpus Christi, Texas. And I don't want to mess up the name of his wrap place. That's right. Premier Wraps.
That's right.
Premier Wraps and Signs in Corpus Christi, Texas. They wrap the vehicle.
It looks pretty cool.
We put a small little lift on it and it got
Is that small? Is that considered a small lift?
And then we got here. Yeah, I'm not a like big... I like to keep things very close to
You don't
stock.
need a monster truck?
No, I don't need a monster truck.
But it is, the wrap on it is called gunmetal.
I think it's
And
like
it's
gunmetal.
cool. It's like a slate, but it's like a shiny slate.
And then we blacked out the grill. We blacked out the windows. I mean, it just looks so cool. So I was so excited. And then I couldn't stop staring at it. Like I just kept... And then I'd walk away from it. I ran errands today in it.
I was gonna say, I feel like you went and found errands to run today just so that you could drive it around.
Yeah, I'm like, did you notice me? Did you notice me? Did you see? Somebody give me a thumbs up. It was so cool. So John Frost and the crew over there at Premier Wraps, man, classy guys. And by the way, got it done in like a week.
Yeah.
I mean, it was quick. So it looks beautiful. I have the guys at Aztec Chevrolet gave me a GMC jacket. I've been wearing it. GMC owner here. Hi, how are you? How are you? Yes. I have the Yukon XL. Yes, thank you. So that was exciting. And then you had it was a rough one this week.
Well, I was gonna say the car got here this weekend, but you weren't here. And Garrett, we went to run errands yesterday to buy Garrett a beta fish, to buy Garrett a fish. And he was like, Mom, let's take the new car. And I was like, one, I'm not putting a stinky fish or fish water in your father's new vehicle. And two, I feel like I need to test drive this big old bus around the neighborhood a couple of times before I get behind the wheel.
It's inevitable. You're going to wreck it. And then we'll write jokes about it.
Don't say that. Don't jinx it.
But this week was just, God, man, and I realized this is what I wanted. I was thinking about this today. I'm like, okay, what are we going to talk about on the podcast? So Wednesday, had to do a corporate gig in Miami. Woke up at 4:00 in the morning, caught a plane, went to Miami, got to Miami, ate lunch, checked into the hotel, showered, did a 4:00 show, back on a plane at 9:30.
Well, you had to change your flight because you thought you were going to perform later,
Yep.
so you weren't going to fly back till the next day, which honestly would have been even worse and brutal, I think.
Oh my God, it would have been way worse, dude. I would have lost the whole half a day.
But thank God you were actually able to get on a flight that night and just come right back.
So and then of course my flight gets delayed, and I'm like, shit. So I don't get home till, I was literally gone for 24 hours because I got home like at 3 a.m. and I was like, oh my gosh. Then, and then what sucks, I didn't get to take Garrett to school in the morning, which I really, really enjoy.
Yeah.
And that's our little time together, So I missed that. Got back Thursday, and then boom, turned around Friday morning and had to fly out to
Kansas City.
And it was just a brutal week. And I when I'm at home, I do so good with my food. I do so good with my exercising.
Yeah.
I'm watching what I eat. I'm making sure that I'm active and exercising. And then I go on the road and I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah.
I love being on stage. I love it. I love being on stage. I love making people happy. I love talking to the people. And then afterwards, it's so lonely. And then I go to lunch and I'm like, fuck it. I'm doing the nachos. I'm doing, and then I don't feel like working out. And I just realized that psychologically, there's got to be something going on, right? Where I'm not as
You're not motivated.
enthused, if you will.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know. Rick, do you run into that where when you're on the road working that you just don't have? It's different.
It's way different. The routine's off, and you're like, hey, I'm only here for a short time. It won't be that bad.
Well, one, you don't have a kitchen. Like, that's hard as it is.
Yep.
You don't have access to a kitchen. I know some people who don't travel as much as you do, so it's easier, but they seek out a meal, like a pre-prepped meal delivery service for the city that they're going to, so that they just have meals delivered.
For whatever reason, I make bad choices.
Yeah.
I make bad choices because I'm
not there to whisper in your ear.
No,
because I make bad choices with you.
You're with me on the bad choices,
yeah,
but it's there's no excuse. The comedy club always has a good restaurant, and they will make me whatever I want.
That's what I was gonna say. But I feel like typically when we're on the road together in the evenings, we do eat well because we know the comedy club will put something healthy together for us.
Right, and then but I'm staying in nice hotels, and the restaurants in those nice hotels are nice, and they have a nice menu of healthy shit. And then I'm like, fuck it, I'm doing this and I'm doing that and I'm doing mac and cheese and I'm doing, so I don't know, whatever it is. And I need to make myself be more disciplined on the road.
Yeah.
Had a great weekend in Kansas City, but
They added shows.
We added
But
a show.
that also made it feel like a long weekend. You were there from Friday to Sunday. 2 shows on Sunday. You haven't done 2 shows
No, we
on
just
a
did
Sunday.
one.
Oh, okay.
We just did one, but we could have added another one. But I'm also at the point where, unfortunately for me, my voice just cannot handle that many shows. So we did not add another show because then I come home, my voice is all raspy, and I'm not feeling well. And I just said, all right, I'm not going to add any more shows. Next time we do Kansas City, we'll plan to either do the Improv and have multiple shows on the same day, or do a theater, because it makes for a rough week. And then I have not been this mad in a long time.
Mad?
Oh my God, I was pissed. And I'll tell you what happened. Saturday first show. Sold out. Now keep in mind.
I was going to say, Steve Matt is kind of scary, so I'm like bracing myself for this story.
No, I behaved myself. But keep in mind that the Kansas City Chiefs were playing.
Yes.
Okay, and they were playing, I think their game was like at 2:00.
Okay.
And the whole town is into it.
I was going to say, that's like a big deal, right?
Big deal.
Yes. Okay.
The women, the men, they're all dressed in red and
Yeah.
they're
With their
all
Mahomes
about,
wig, right? I don't even watch
So-
football, and I know it's a thing.
After the game ended while people were watching it in the showroom. So it was like game and then show.
Oh, so they had the game playing
At
as
the show.
people are filing into
Right.
the showroom. Okay, got it.
So I think, and also this is part of the manager's theory too, I think that people were drinking and partying all day watching the game, hanging out.
Yeah, for sure.
So I walk on stage, and first of all, there's this really good looking pair of couples, right? Front row. And she's already kind of talking to her husband and big distraction. So, and I'm always polite. I said, hey, I go, shh. That's all I had to do. And she was like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Didn't have another problem from her. Behind her, catty corner, oh my God, this woman would not shut up and just kept talking. And then, I'm trying to ignore it, right? But then everybody around her is doing this number, like the
Annoyed.
and annoyed, and I couldn't get the audience
You
to pay
see
attention.
it all happening from the stage too.
No,
You see,
but
like everyone's reaction to her.
But yeah, and I see it, and then because everybody over here is reacting, all the people on the other side of the room are now starting to do like what's going on over there, And then she's fucking talking, and she won't shut up, and I can't get the crowd. I fucking can't get them. I mean, they're laughing.
Which you usually can. Like,
I mean, I don't think after the show, people came up with like, oh my God, amazing show, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But I know the show that I can deliver.
Yeah.
And I take it so personal. That this is your date night out.
Yes.
And I am here to perform for you.
Yeah.
And I am here to give you the entertainment that you paid for and deserve.
And that's an element of it that is out of your control when someone else ruins the experience for the rest of the showroom.
She would not shut the fuck up. And then finally,
But what does security do?
nothing.
So that's when it becomes that much of a disruption, that's when like security's supposed to step in.
So then finally, I stop the show and I go, hey, you. And by the way, this is how much they were talking. I stop the show. I go, hey, everybody gets quiet, but them. Still talking. I'm like, excuse me, I'm talking to you. Still talking. Not a care in the fucking world. Not paying attention to at all what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
Right? Still talking. And then somebody finally goes, he's talking to you. So then she turns around and I go, listen. I go, honestly, I don't care if you don't want to watch the show. Really. I don't. I go, so if you want to have a conversation, I go, you can do that in the lobby. I go, or join us in the show. Polite.
Oh, but it feels so shitty
then-
to have to call someone out like that.
It's the worst. But I was so fucking distracted and I was so mad that I was not giving the audience the show that they deserved.
Yeah.
Right? And she's clueless. So then she starts like talking back.
Oh, so what did she say when you told her you can go up and go to the back?
She's like, okay, do your show. And I go, okay, but I need you to be quiet. So then I go, sorry guys, where was I? Try to get back into the show. She starts talking again. And I go, are you really talking again? I go, really?
Security's just standing against the back wall, like watching this whole
So
time?
finally
What's
I go,
going
where's
on?
security?
Yeah.
So then finally Timmy's already trying to get security.
Yeah.
Security finally comes in and talks to her. And she's like, I'm just talking to him. And I go, okay. I go, we're going to be quiet? Thank you. She goes, no, thank you. I go, no, thank you. She goes, no, thank you. And I'm like, oh my fucking God, right? I had to completely bail on the last part of my show. And I had to change gears and do a different bit than the bit that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
The show that I had planned for the people.
Yeah.
I had to completely shift gears, go into another joke. And I was just like, motherfucker. So then finally, I guess she gets kicked out.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now there's an entire group of people in the outside waiting to come in.
Uh-huh.
So a guy and a girl that I met in Des Moines, Iowa, who have been supporting me anytime I'm in Des Moines or anywhere near that area, they always come.
Yeah.
You know, I have their number. They always shoot me a text, which by the way, thank you for the gift. They brought us a gift. They're outside and the lady goes out there and she's telling the whole line, don't talk to the comedian. He's a fucking dick. He'll kick you out. He'll kick you out. So then my buddy's texting me going, oh shit, dude, I don't know what the fuck happened, but this bitch is out here complaining about, and he goes, I probably know that she was in the wrong, right?
Yeah.
God, I was so pissed. I get off stage and I really had to keep from fucking reaming everybody.
Yeah.
So of course I get in the green room, manager comes in right away and she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Which by the way, staff, amazing, management, amazing.
Yeah.
Good, nice people, right? Hardworking. They deliver a good experience. So by all means, I'm not talking bad. They just missed the mark here, right?
Yeah.
She comes in, she's like, oh my God, I'm sorry. And I go, she should have been fucking talked to forever ago.
Yeah. It shouldn't have gotten that far.
And then Tim came in, I go, Tim, you need to fucking step up.
Yeah.
You need to make sure this shit doesn't happen. And then I'm like, Dave, get your ass in here.
Yeah.
I go, were they talking during your show? And he was like, yeah, a little bit. I go, you're the opening act. It is your job to stop that shit.
Or at least, or alert
Acknowledge
people, alert people when he gets off stage back in the green room that she might be that they might be a problem.
I was mad because I was sad because I desperately want to deliver the very best show that I could deliver for the people who spent good money. And I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it. And it fucking bummed me out. So
How was the second show after that?
Well,
crowd-wise?
Oh, well, let's go back to Friday. So Friday, Jared and Angela, my high school friend, showed up. And, she's funny. She's so classy. Her husband, what a great dude. And they showed up and they were like, you keep saying that we're going to hang out. And every time we come see you, we can't. Today we're hanging out. Right? And I'm like, all right, we're going to the casino. Let's hang out. Let's have a good time. You know? And it made me think of you because Felix also had a friend and his wife they both have I don't know, like a 3-year-old. Right? And we're going to the casino and she's in the back just falling asleep. And I go, I totally get it. I go, Renae, she's like, I'm going to bed because they did get a room at the casino. She's like, he can gamble. I'm going to bed. She's like, I'm exhausted. So Angela and Jared came out. We hung out. And I feel bad because at one point I told Angela, I go, we didn't even take a picture. And then we never did.
Yeah.
But I just love them. And they're just so great and classy. And she was telling me this story. Oh, my God. Renae, I ain't ready for this.
What?
I'm not. So they have 2 kids at K-State. Or KU. I don't want to fuck it up. They're going to get mad. It's a big deal.
It's a big deal? I don't know. Okay.
In college. Well, they had come back from college and they asked their parents, can we have a party?
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
And they're like, sure. So Jared's playing beer pong, having a great time. Angela said that she tried to hang out. She was having drinks. And she was, by the way, really weird having drinks with your kids. She's like, it's cool, but it's kind of weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of one of those milestones in life too that you have to go through, right? So then she goes, she's like, I lay down to go to bed. She goes, outside my door, my daughter is getting hit on. And this boy will not stop. And he's hitting on her, and he's trying to talk smooth. She goes, and then the worst part is, now my daughter and them I can hear the whole conversation, and now she's telling him things that she's done in college. And, I did this and I did that. And she's like, I didn't know any of that shit. She goes, and it took every bit of me not to go out there and be like, stop this shit, right?
Because there's a part of you that's like, well, how much more are they going to say? Like, I want to get most of this story.
But she's like, she's an adult. She can handle herself. She's in college by herself. And then she did say that she managed to pretty much not hook up with this kid, right? And manage the conversation.
Oh, I don't know if I could stop myself from stepping in.
Oh my God.
I'm the mom who would overstep.
Well, she did say that at like 4 a.m, she came out with free range titties, the whole thing. And she goes, I had to go full mom. Everybody's going to bed. Party's fucking over. We've had a good time. Like, that's it, right?
Yes, yeah. I don't know that I would have lasted till 4 either.
Oh, but she was telling me the story about her daughter getting hit on. I'm like, oh my God. Like, but when you have those, my immediate thought was, as a parent, and I think Angela made the right decision, let her handle it.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
As a parent of a daughter, you have to raise your daughters to be fucking scrappy.
Yeah.
To be tough, because you're not going to be with them their whole lives. You're not going to be with them
as
in
long
college.
as she's safe. She's in your home,
right.
And she's safe, and she can bang really hard on your door. Yeah.
You said bang, Renae. Don't say bang in this situation. No, but it's if you have a good looking daughter, and I don't know what her daughters look like, but I'm sure they're good looking girls.
Yeah,
they're going to get hit on.
Yeah,
and guys are going to hit on them, and guys are going to
and some are going to be more aggressive than others.
Right, and you're not going to be there to defend her. You're not going to be there to stick up for her. I mean, you were 17 years old in NYU, New York City by yourself. You have to be able to stick up for yourself.
Yeah.
And I've always felt like you've been very good at, putting bitch face back at him, Because I watch you get hit on and it lasts like fucking 1 minute. Like I'll see a dude walk up to you and then you just kind of, you give them that look and they're just like, ew, okay, this ain't happening. And they fucking leave. But is that something that's taught? Is that something that you just have?
Just my internal disgust all the time.
Yeah, I mean, but Angela's telling me this story, and I'm like, oh my God, like I don't even know where to begin. Which, by the way, loves you. I couldn't even tell her. Like we're trying to talk, I can't tell her anything. She's like, oh, I already know. She's like, oh yeah, you guys are redoing the casita. Yeah, I already know. And oh my God, I love what Renae did with this. And oh my God, how cute is this? And I'm like, well, fuck, I guess I can't tell. We can't talk about my life or your life. So then they came to the casino and hung out. And then Saturday, second show, I got fired up. And I was like, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to have a great show.
Powerhouse.
And I'm going to perform the shit out of this show because, and I told the audience what happened.
Yeah.
And I told them that, man, and they really cheered me up. I stuck around a little bit. And
you told them at the top of the show, like, this just happened first show.
Yep.
It was really shitty. I'm trying to shake it off. Yeah.
I did. And I was just, and the thing too is something like that hasn't happened to me in such a long time. And by the way, the woman.
Well, that's what I mean. I have seen you deal with someone who's too rowdy, and you usually get the crowd right back, and they feel like an ass for being loud, and it
was so awkward. The whole room was, and then other people were like, "Thank you," like other people sitting around. I'm like, "Thank you. We're trying to watch the show. She won't shut the fuck up." So then they're mad, and they're uncomfortable. I mean, it was just a bad situation, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't go off on the staff, even though I wanted to.
Yeah.
Because, again, the manager walked in like she walked in like I'm gonna get reamed.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, that's all I needed.
What do you mean?
For her to be aware.
Oh, gotcha.
Right? If she had not ran in there with the, oh shit, we know we fucked up face, and I had to go get her over here, that probably would have been different.
Yeah.
But the fact, and that's what I think is the difference, right?
Well, it's hard. I think because I have seen that situation go down a couple of times, and in that someone gets too rowdy and how do we handle it? And I've seen it handled really well, and I've seen it handled poorly on the part of the staff. And it can go from one to the other so quickly. It can go from, oh, this person's going to get it together and Steve's going to get it under control and the show's going to keep moving, to all of a sudden like, oh, holy hell, it's just got real, real bad. And if the management and staff are not all on the same page about what the escalation levels are and when you immediately jump in and how you jump in, it's hard to navigate.
Well, my thing is that, and when I worked the door at the Addison Improv, I was on it. Right? I was always paying attention to the crowd. If somebody was even talking a little bit, and even when the checks drop, if they're talking too loud, I would go over there for most people, you just go, and they'll go, oh,
yeah,
oh yeah, right.
Yeah,
most people, right? Oh yeah, I'm not aware. Sorry, right? Much like the girl in the front row. The girl in the front row, I was like, hey, shh, and then you could see on her face like, oh okay,
yeah,
right, like I'm sorry,
yeah,
but. I think that goes back to also, and I don't mean to compare management to my kids. I don't ream Garrett, my son, if I could tell that he knows he did wrong.
Right.
There's no sense
if there's some remorse and
if I could see Garrett go, hey, I'm aware I fucked up. I'm sorry. I'm gonna fix it.
Yeah.
There's no sense, and no offense to my parents, but they were the opposite. Like, I already feel bad. I already know I fucked up. Do we need to spend the next 30 minutes?
Let me have it.
Right, letting me have it, And same with the staff, right? So when she walked in and she was like, Steve, I'm so sorry. And I go, we got to take care of that. She goes, I know. She says, it won't happen again, right? I go, no problem. But I think some comedians, they fucking lose it. And it's like, dude, there's no sense in losing it. They already know they fucked up, right? So why what's the point of, do you feel better now?
Yeah. It's just hard because we also live in in a post Will Smith slap world. Like,
ain't nobody fucking slapping me. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
This line between being on the stage and being an audience member has become very, very blurry.
I have two hands. I have a head. I have
a head? You're gonna headbutt somebody?
I have plenty of things to hit people with. I have a stool. I have a mic stand. No, if you even walk on my stage, I'm fucking swinging. Yeah. There's no, me. I don't.
You don't deal with aggression. If someone approaches you aggressively, you don't deal with that well.
I was bummed for the audience.
Yeah.
And I have some hecklers that are I call them the positive hecklers.
Oh yes, when they repeat the punchline of a joke.
So they love me. And they just don't know how to love me.
Yeah, she wrecked your truck. And
I wrecked his truck too. That kind. So they're engaged.
Yes, and you feel bad for them because they're having such a good time. So you don't want to. They're the ones you don't want to make uncomfortable. They're like really enjoying it and having a good time.
And I believe this wholeheartedly. People drink more at comedy clubs.
Oh, for sure.
Because your endorphins are going, you're having a good time, you're sitting down, you're not standing up, you're laughing, you're having a great time.
There's a full drink in front of you at all times.
Bring me another one, I'm having a great time.
Yeah.
And I think that some people get a little too drunk, which by the way, and I loved it, second show Saturday, I've got, and the guy's older, he's probably, if I were to guess, in his 70s, right? Very well put together. And they have money because his wife was very well put together, right? Poor guy was asleep. And his wife was laughing, having a good time, So, and this was Friday night.
I was going to say Friday probably after he worked all day or something.
So, poor guy. I mean, he's there. She's laughing. At the end of the show, I order my Crown on the Rocks. And they bring me one. And I tell Dave, I go, bring me another one. So they bring me another one. I go, hey, this is for you, buddy. He woke up. I go, you deserve a drink, dude. I go, you're husband of the year. Sitting there asleep. I go, because by the way, and people started clapping because other people knew that he was asleep, right? I go, by the way, had he been laughing and she was asleep, everybody in the audience would be like, take her home. That poor girl.
I knew you were going to say that.
Right?
I knew you were going to say that. Am I right or wrong? That. Yep, I don't know.
People would be like, what a dick. Take her home. She's tired. Why are you still here laughing, having a good time? Well, she's asleep.
I don't know.
Come
As
on.
long as it's not a disruption to the show, it's no big deal. Sometimes I'm asleep in the back at your shows.
Yeah, then I call her up and she has to put herself back together. Come on. But I gave the guy a drink and he was like, he gave me like a, thank you, and then she came up afterwards and she just goes, oh my God, she goes, I love you so much. And yes, my husband's a sweet man and he knew how much I loved you and he was so tired, but he came anyway. And I was like, yep. I go, that's again, if it was the other way around, that shit ain't happening. And I would love for people to chime in.
I don't know. I have a very clear memory of being in Vegas this last time and like falling asleep at a slot machine, being like, babe, I got to go up to the room.
But I was with you and I went with you to bed. I was with you.
Your heart was with me.
I was with you. Hanging out. Old Salt Coffee. Got to thank them really quickly. We love them. Thank you so much.
We're running low on her. We had like a huge stash actually this morning when I was making my coffee. I was like, we got to replenish our supply.
I miss that coffee on the road. I miss it. I really, really miss it. And of course, Pick Cherries.
Yes.
We're doing so well.
Yeah.
Yes, we're kicking ass with Pick Cherries. Thank you guys.
And it's cool to see people like sharing cherries and like them picking cherries. And someone texted me a clip of another podcast this weekend, and I was like, they were like, go to time such and such and such and such, and I was like, don't tell me to go to minute 35. Like, pick the cherry, send it to me.
And then let's talk a little bit about last week's episode. I thought it was great, and I really enjoyed having him, and it's just so funny to me when you read the comments.
I haven't read all the comments, so I want to know what you read.
Well, it's so funny because some comments are like, oh my God, what a great episode. So crazy y'all ate the termite,
Some people did know who Sonny was. Like they had already watched his videos before and knew it and thought it was so weird that like two worlds collided. They were like, I love Steve Trevino and I love watching Sonny. Like the fact that came together in a weird way.
But then the other comments are like, worst podcast ever. I don't like it when you have guests.
You know what? There are people who really don't like the guests. The guests, I don't know why I couldn't say that, but there are some people who just like this standard format and don't like the guests.
I don't get it. And I enjoy having guests. I mean, I enjoy having guests because I'm very interested in people.
Yes.
And for us, it gives us kind of a break.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I wonder, I know you don't like things to be overproduced, and I know that is not the nature of a podcast to be overproduced like that. It's supposed to be like a free form conversation. But I wonder if maybe it's because things are kind of all over the place when we have a guest and people don't know what to expect. Like, would they like it more if we prepped them for the guest better? Or if we said, hey, we're having this person on, what do you want to hear us talk about? And we well,
I think we kind of meet in the middle. I think we need to start doing, 10, 15, 20 minutes, me and you in the beginning, and then using that last 5 minutes to talk about our guest, why we're excited that guest is here, and then bring them on. And then that way, the audience gets a little bit of both. They get our conversation, what we're doing, how we're doing it, how our life's going, how our kids are doing, and then they get the special guest.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know. I enjoyed Sonny. I think he's a very, very interesting guy.
Yeah.
You were motivated by him.
I was. There were things that I guess I did not know what to expect. And there were things he said after our conversation that really resonated with me. And you and I had a separate discussion about them off camera. And I think for the people who didn't like the episode, I think that's one of the great things is when something happens in the discussion, but you're thinking about it afterwards and the conversation, the discussion continues. So, that's really cool to me.
What was it for you?
One of the things he said that I thought was very much you is he was careful in the way he worded it because you could tell he didn't want to come across as egotistical. But he said one of the things about being an innovator or successful is being able to rally a group and make them think the impossible or the seemingly impossible is possible. Right. And that's progress and that's forward movement and that's innovation and all of those things. And That is you with me all of the time. I'm always feeling like, holy fuck, how are we going to get all this done? Or, oh my gosh, how are we going to make this happen? And you just keep pushing forward. And even when you pitch something or you have an idea, it is with such gumption, and you actually really do have a talent for making people think it's possible, because you made me think it's possible.
But I think I've also proven that I've done it.
Yeah.
I keep doing it, and I keep accomplishing goals. But and I forget who said it, or it was a meme or something. But somebody goes, I enthusiastically told 400 people my idea. Right. Out of those 400, 50 of them thought it was a good idea.
Okay.
Out of those 50, 10 of them said that they would get involved. Out of those 10, one person actually got involved.
I think I've heard something like this. It's just like, actually put it into action.
You put it into action. Yeah. And I've said it a million times that nobody wants to help, nobody wants to start building the train to push it. You have to build the train, and then you start pushing it. And then once it's going down the tracks, people go, I'll help you push it and go faster.
Yeah.
Right? Because you already built the train. You're already pushing it. I'll get behind you. Let's go do this thing.
That's why there's a thing called proof of concept, right?
Well, I mean, it's like, Ponch and I with Raul Western, we talked about it forever, and Ponch is the one that built the train.
Yeah.
And because I'm doing comedy, I wasn't able to help him build that train. But now I'm here as a partner and a teammate to push it along.
Yeah.
But it was Ponch's gut and grit to go, I really want to do this. I think it's a great idea, Steve. Let's freaking do it.
Yeah.
And then here we are. And everywhere I wore the shorts, the shirts I wear them every week in Kansas, and I can't tell you how many people were like, where do I get that shirt? That shirt's great. And I'm so proud to go, oh, they're ours.
Yeah.
Here, take a picture of the label, right? So it was Ponch's grit and Ponch's decision to go, hey, I'm going to do this, right? And I think Rick's one of those people. You look at Rick and where Rick and I started, to all of a sudden 15, 20 years later go, oh shit, Rick, you made it. And then Rick to go, hey, Steve, I noticed you made it. Let's do this together, right?
Yeah.
But Rick, do you feel like a lot of times you were having to build the train and start pushing it first?
I think you said that perfectly. And going back to what, getting people on board, like every time you call with an idea, your enthusiasm, you instantly go, oh yeah, that could work. And like, who knows how it's going to work, but you're like, yeah, we could do that.
Well, Steve once told me too, he was like, because I say Steve's like an idea man. He always has so many ideas. And I'm like, how do we can't make all these ideas happen. So how do we filter through all of the ideas? And Steve told me one time that he's like, nope, I just keep pitching them and I keep talking to them. And I think it was like your theory of 400 people. You're like, not everyone is going to love every idea. And it's about finding the right people, the people who can put things into action and an idea that they are excited and care enough about.
But I will say that is why, and that joke that I'm doing right now about me and you and how we're different people.
And I shit on ideas?
Right. Well,
is that where we're going?
No, where I'm going with this is that I don't think that I could be as successful as I am without you.
Yeah.
And I think that you can't be as successful as you are without me.
For sure.
And I am a get it done, let's go. And you're a let me make sure everything's perfect. And if I were to leave you alone, it would never be perfect enough and we'd never get it done. And if you were to leave me alone, it would get done.
But it would be crooked.
It would be crooked. Right? Like my chicken coop. If you look at it, it's a little crooked, but it looks good.
And the chickens keep getting eaten.
But no, I honestly believe that when a go-getter and a doer meets a perfectionist, that we are able to accomplish goals very well.
Yeah.
A lot longer than I would like and a lot faster than you would like.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And that's and I don't think me and you could be any more different.
Yeah.
When it comes to personality types, when it
Our
comes
working
to
methods.
working methods. I mean, oh my God, I rolled up today from the airport and I'm like, why are there 18 trucks and vehicles in my freaking driveway?
That's what it felt like.
We had 4 pool guys here.
Uh-huh.
We had 3 electricians. We had 2 framers.
Uh-huh.
We had 3 tile people, one being your brother.
Uh-huh.
You know, which by the way, you know, and I love your brother and I love your family.
Yeah.
And I love, you know, Raymond's energy and
Yeah.
when Junior comes over, man, he's like, let's party, let's have a good time. It was really cool today to actually see him in his element.
In work mode?
In work mode.
Uh-huh.
You know, I felt like that with Shelby's husband.
Oh, uh-huh.
You know, when I met Dwayne,
Yeah.
Shelby's husband.
He's a chiropractor.
He is, well, I'm gonna get to that, but yes.
Okay.
But you know, I met him and he was kind of goofy and he dresses kind of loud. He's one of those guys that dresses in the fancy shirts, and, you know, and I liked him.
The jeans with the rhinestone pockets.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah.
And you know, anytime we see each other, he's so good at giving me shit. I give him shit. You know, he gets mad because he's never beaten me in horseshoes, right? And we always talk shit. So then I end up going to his chiropractor practice where he actually also works on my dad. And I needed something very quickly. I called up Shelby. I'm like, can he squeeze me in? She's like, yes. I get there. And then all of a sudden, Dwayne in his element.
In his scrubs?
No, well, he was in like khaki pants and tucked in shirt and a tie. And then, I mean, he knew his shit. They sat down with me. He's like, we're doing this, we're doing that. I'm going to help you with this. I'm going to do this. We're going to do an x-ray here.
Yeah.
And let me explain to you what's going on here. And I was like, what the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
You know, so it was cool to see Raymond in the same way today.
Uh-huh.
You know, I walk in there and his employee's like, talk to me, boss. And he was like, we're going to do this. We're going to do that.
Yeah.
That's what I think we need to do. This is this way. We need to fix this. I mean, he was fucking on it.
Yeah.
So it was really cool to see him kind of in his element.
Doing what he does, yeah.
Doing what he does. And again,
I noticed that my family, I didn't know this about him before, but he has a little bit of the OCD the same way that I do.
a little bit.
Yeah.
You, your dad, Rebecca, OCD as fuck. Dude, every time we're all together, all the people that married y'all, your mom included, we always give each other a look like,
We love someone
hard.
with OCD.
yeah, it's hard.
Oh, well, I'll make you guys t-shirts next year. This at Thanksgiving this year, all the women got matching aprons. Next year, the spouses will all get a "We love someone with OCD"
With a
t-shirt.
teardrop. With just a sad. We always say that me and April and Sean, we always joke that we need to go on a vacation, just us, where we get served, where people take care of us.
Don't say that. That's not
Where
true.
people
That
take care of
happens to
us.
you every weekend in a green room, Mr. Trevino. Do not fall for this. No sympathy for you.
Oh, but dude, I'm laughing. Delilah's doing so well with her potty training. I think she's almost potty trained.
Well, you say that because you're not the one in the laundry room hosing her butt down when she's pooped all over herself.
But no, but she's going through the. She's going
It's getting
through
better.
the.
Sometimes the poop just comes on a little fast and it catches her by surprise.
Well, she's a Trevino.
It does seem like a Trevino trait.
Yes. No, but she's in the phase. She's in the phase of, if I'm distracted, having a good time, I don't want to stop what I'm doing.
Yeah,
pee.
no, you're totally right because I'm literally at Petco paying for the fish and the tank and the rocks and the, like all this stuff. And it's a sweet little, like almost retired woman at the register, like asking me for my email to sign up for Petco points. And she can't get my email right. She keeps misspelling my name. And Delilah's like, I have to pee. And I'm like, oh my God, not right now. There's a line of people. Our stuff is already like all on the belt. Like, come on. So I told Garrett, I was like, Garrett, can you take her? And the lady's like, it's in the back corner. I'm like, Garrett, please take her. And the poor lady's like taking so long. Finally, I was like, can I just type it? Is that okay? I need to get to my 7-year-old who just took my 2-year-old to the potty. Anyway, they are back, and I hear Delilah giggling, and I was like, well, she's either walking out of the restroom butt naked.
Oh, she did it.
Or this went successfully. And they did. Before I could check out and finish paying, they'd gone to the restroom and already come back up to the register. I was like, oh, thank God.
Garrett's such a good big brother.
Yeah.
He's such a good big brother. And when she was smaller, younger, Garrett would go, when is she going to want to play with me? and I want to play with my sister. And now it's cool to see them.
Dragging her on a blanket.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
They play, they hang out, and he's really sweet with her, and he's so good to her. But she's doing good with her potty training.
Except
However,
the one time she pooped on a rug in Kirkland's. I don't think I even told you that story.
yeah, you did. However, we've gotten to the point where when she pees, we all go crazy. Good job, Delilah. Delilah peed in the potty.
Not really.
Yeah. Come on. So
Not really.
now when she pees in the potty and nobody says anything, she's like, I peed in the potty. Where's my flowers? Right? Like, it's awesome. All right. Well, I missed you. It was a long week.
It was. The kids missed you. Garrett, Delilah woke up right before he left for school this morning. So he went to go pull her out of her crib. And she was upset. She started to cry. She goes, Daddy wakes me. Daddy wakes me.
I know. So I miss my babies. I missed you. You look very beautiful today in your evening gown or whatever that is.
It is a sweater dress. It is simply a sweater dress with my bra hanging out the side.
That's okay. And the funny part is, you know how in my show I always say that, in that new joke that I'm doing, I always say that, man, I screwed up and married a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
Right. I go, and people always go, oh wow, right? Like, oh, that's your wife,
Uh-huh.
And then I do the joke about people saying, well, she must be with him for money, blah 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 blah.
Right.
Well, Felix and his friends are in the green room with me, and then one of the women follows us. And she was like, oh, do you have any new pictures of Delilah that I haven't seen? And I go, oh, yeah. So on my reel that I showed her was our family picture. And then her dude was like, can I see? And I'm like, yeah. And then he sees you and goes, oh, wow, dude. Your wife's hot. And I'm like, fuck you. I literally tell that joke on stage. Why can't I get a hot wife? But we do have to go. We missed you guys. We appreciate you guys always continuing to support.
I won't eat worms or termites or whatever the heck I ate last week anymore.
It wasn't that bad.
No.
It wasn't that bad.
No, it was bad. It was bad.
Rick, any questions before we go?
Now that Renee's on here, I would love to know your guys' true thoughts about what that tasted like.
It didn't taste bad.
No, it tasted it was like basically in sake. So the first bite just tasted like, which I don't particularly like sake. It tasted like you're having a shot of sake. It was not till I felt the dirt that the termite must have eaten that I was really grossed out.
Let me ask you this.
And the feet. When you said, if you had not said before when you ate yours that you could like taste the little feet, it was
I could feel them on my tongue.
Once I knew about the feet, I couldn't get past the feet.
So that's my question. If you were blindfolded, didn't know what it was, didn't see it, and I said, here, eat this.
It was crunchy sake.
Yeah. That's it.
But it was like, no one likes to eat sand, right? Like when you're at the beach and you accidentally get a little sand in your mouth and you're like, oh. It was like sake with sand.
Yeah. And then because you knew that there was legs, you're like, oh, those are legs.
Yeah. Then I couldn't get past the legs.
Those are little legs. Yep. That I just ate.
Yeah.
And
this is why I would never do Naked and Afraid.
It wasn't too bad. I mean, it wasn't, I knew that if somebody else could do it, I could do it.
Well, sure, you can do it, but do you want to do it? No, I'm not eating a queen termite again. Check that one off the list.
But I'm sure that people think we're crazy. When I was a kid and my dad would take me to the bars with him,
pick that cherry.
Yeah. My dad would always take me to the bars, hand me a fistful of quarters, and I'd play pool and watch my dad get hammered.
Oh, that's not what I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say something way worse.
And then he'd drive me home drunk and, badass shit. No, on the bar, there used to be pickled pig's feet.
I've heard pickled pig's feet is a thing. I've never had pickled pig's feet.
And every once in a while, there'd be a dude in there or a pickled egg.
Yeah.
And there'd be a dude in there that would be eating one. And I'd be like, what the fuck?
But I like pickles. I don't like sake.
So what I'm saying is that I'm sure that eating pickled pig's feet, somebody around the world has never seen it and doesn't understand what the fuck. Right?
Yeah.
It's like when we would go to Mexico to visit family and they would do mole.
Yes.
In Mexico, they would leave the chicken foot in there.
Why is there chicken foot in mole? I've had mole before.
they would leave the chicken foot in the mole for whatever reason. And me and my cousin Gabe, Lori's husband, would be like, what the fuck? And the kids next to us were like chewing on the chicken foot. We're like, oh my God, what the fuck is happening? Right? So it's just, it's what are you, what is normal to you? What are you used to? What is,
Yeah.
So yeah, Rick, it didn't taste like anything but.
Tasted like sake with sand
sake.
in it.
Yeah. And I don't like sake, so that doesn't help me. All right. No more questions. Any more questions, Rick?
No.
And then I forget who it was, front row, and I'm probably, I wish she would have told me her name, but she was like, next time Renae better come to visit us. And I said, honey, I don't think Kansas City is high on Renae's.
No, you make it sound like I am a snob about where I go and where I don't go. I'm a snob, yes, but it's with the kids too. Like it's just with 2 kids, it's a lot harder to travel than with just one. And now Garrett is also in school. So our traveling is definitely not as much as it was before.
Yes. And very quickly, oh my gosh, guys, we are so close to raising $1 million this year for veterans. So close. Our physical year of fundraising ends at the end of February.
At your annual event.
At our annual event. So please, please, please go to helicoptersforheroes.com. $1, $5, $10, whatever. We're desperately trying to get there. It'll be a huge, huge year for me to be able to say that me, collectively with the group at Helicopters for Heroes, raised $1 million. It would be amazing. And remember, we are 96% give back. 96% give back.
Yeah.
We are public knowledge. You can go look it up. Feel free to. We work very hard to stay above 95%. So please, please, please give. Helicoptersforheroes.com, .org, .net. Please, 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 I want to hit $1 million. And nothing would make me happier than to announce that on this podcast. So we love you guys. Thank you for your continued support. Let's continue as a group and as a family to do great things. Thank you.